Welcome into episode 11 of the Just Another podcast, hosted by yours truly, Just Another Chris. And this episode, I gotta say, which I think I do say in most episodes, it's gonna be a wild one. I sit down with Morgan, better known as On the Daily with Morgan. She's a fellow content creator, best known over on TikTok, where she has accumulated over 150,000 followers. She's currently in college majoring in marketing. We dive into Polaroid's marketing, deep dive into what they're doing, what they're not doing. I mean, we get marketing advice from somebody that's currently studying marketing. Valuable information. Listen up, Polaroid. Time to dive into what it's like creating content, stuff that the viewers or listeners tend to overlook or not understand what we actually do and how much money we actually make doing this. She's a fellow instant photographer. She's actually a member of the Spitfire Club even. Thank you, Morgan, for the support. Oh, and don't forget, you can listen and watch. Yes, this is a video form podcast as well over on YouTube and Spotify. And of course, there's an extended version of this podcast, like every other episode, over in the Spitfire Club. Links can be found in the description. So sit on back and enjoy episode 11 of the Just Another podcast. Morgan, what's going on?
What is up?
Oh my gosh. How are you? I'm great. So cool to see you in here. For those that don't know, who are you exactly?
I am, I had On the Daily with Morgan was my initial pen name, but now it's Bama Morgan is what I'm more commonly known as these days.
Yeah.
I picked it up while I was in college, so.
What do you do? If you could summarize yourself in a couple sentences, what is it that you do?
I do lifestyle content based around young adults or college students, basically take them through day in the life, sort of like what I get up to as a college student who's not rich, basically.
Yeah, I'm not a college student and I'm not rich, so I can sort of relate. I can sort of relate to that. What are you going to school for?
I actually study business with I'm focused in marketing, technically. Marketing's just my passion, so.
Marketing, nice.
Actually, before TikTok, I wanted to go into influencer content creation and helping influencers with their marketing and stuff like that, but I don't know. You never know what the future holds.
Because a lot of people don't know this, but I technically went to school, not college. I had a scholarship. I think I've told that story before. I had a scholarship for film school. My parents wouldn't let me go. But I did go to a college class that was offered through high school, and I went to school for construction. Blue collar right here. They put me through
trade school?
It was a trade school. It was a construction program. I built houses. I learned how to build them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did a summer job of that. My dad's a plumber. My mom and dad wanted to be just like my dad and get into a trade. They felt it was the safest option. I get where they were coming from, but I had a scholarship and they wouldn't let me go to film school. They're like, what are you going to do with a film degree? This is 2008, by the way.
Oh, well, see, that was back in the day. Nowadays,
yeah, it was. Yeah, but it was right on that little cusp of boom, back right when film was that was where you wanted to be. I could have been a lot farther in what I do now if I did go, but that's not what we're supposed to be talking about now. You mentioned just a little bit ago that you make some stuff for TikTok and stuff. When did you kind of get into that?
Crazy story, if I'm being honest, because I started off on Instagram doing instant photography. I did that my whole entire senior year. I got 4,000 followers on Instagram. And then I went to college, the University of Alabama. And it's a bigger thing than where you live. So I don't know if you how much you know about it, but we have this thing here called Bama Rush. And that's basically where the girls at the University of Alabama rush to get into a sorority. And so I was like, oh, I'll rush and then I'll do TikTok as well, because that's a thing. And maybe I'll make some friends and stuff doing the TikTok. So I posted my first Bama Rush TikTok the day before it started, and it blew up. It got I think it's at 1 million views now. Ooh. And I got over the week I just kept hitting after hitting after hitting, because I didn't typically, when you see a girl go through Rush, they're like, oh, I had a great day, it was amazing. And I was not having it at all. I was like, this sucks. And I was like, anybody who does this is crazy. And I was like, and I hate this. I don't understand why we're doing this. And that blew up because they had never seen a Rush girl sort of talk negatively about the process while going through it. So I remember there's this one video where I was like drinking orange juice and it was like I was over it. And that video got like 2-3 million views. That one went mega viral. And then by the end of the week, by the end of Rush Week, I had over 100,000 followers, over 150.
That's super cool. Now, you mentioned instant photography. I mean, obviously, that's what I mostly am primarily known for here on the interwebs, these days anyway. So you said you started instant photography right before college, or what are you doing about that?
I actually, I'm not sure if you remember this, but back when I did Rush, I got interviewed by her campus, and they were really interested in the instant photography aspect. And they asked me, they're like, "How did you get started?" And that is a really, it's embarrassing because as an instant photographer, I know how embarrassing it is. But Logan Paul's 99 Originals was what brought me in. And then like your Just Another Chris videos were like what kept me in. But the Logan Paul documentaries, what kind of drew me to it. Yeah. I had always owned like an Instax Mini. And like I was calling the Instax Mini a Polaroid, and I realized that was kind of embarrassing now. But
I've done it. And when I first started, I did it.
Mini. I saw the Logan Paul like shorts. And I was like, oh my God, I need to get a Polaroid. Like, I have to get a Polaroid. And so my mom, first day of senior year, she's like, here's a gift. And she's like, I was going to make you wait until Christmas, but since you were like, I was having a rough time, she's like, here, you can have it early. So she gave me my first Polaroid, and then I just needed to know everything there was about instant photography. So I watched all of your videos in like, I think in 2 or 3 days. I was like watching them constantly. And I was like, I just need to become the best instant photographer there ever is. And so I dedicated the rest of my school year to becoming the best instant photographer.
Well, there you go. Hey, glad I could be a help on your journey. What was the Polaroid camera? Which one was it?
It was the Now Plus.
Ooh, ouch!
I know.
So sorry.
It's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. But I actually the way I did it though is I actually enjoyed the camera. I never used the preset modes. I did manual. Like everything I picked, the f-stop, the aperture, like I picked everything. And that was something that I really enjoyed was I could pick how long the shutter was open using the app. The app was kind of what had me in a chokehold. Keep the shutter open for longer to get the photo brighter. And like I would do crazy stuff with that camera. Like me and that camera were besties.
What happened to it? You're talking into like the past tense.
Because I'm so upset about this. The lens came out of it. Like it just completely came out of the camera. And I was so upset because it was like less than 2 months old. And I was like, are you kidding me? This piece of crap just broke. And this was my first camera and I was heartbroken because I couldn't get rid of it because my mom gave it to me. And I was like, I was so upset. I still have it. It's at home. But by that point, I was pretty deep in like, the Polaroid had me in a chokehold. I had several cameras at that point, so I just had to pivot. But I wasn't as good with the other ones just because they didn't have the manual control, and I kind of knew how the f-stop worked and the aperture worked. And I was so used to having that kind of control over the camera, like the Now Plus, not the Now Plus. I think it's the Polaroid Now Plus. That one was kind of okay, but I didn't really like the app. It just kind of didn't work for me. But you know.
Well, the Now Plus isn't that the one you said that broke?
Oh wait, no, not the Now Plus. The One Step Plus.
Okay, One Step Plus. Yeah.
The One Step. The app just didn't work for me like the Now Plus did.
Should be the same one.
I like the green Now Plus Gen 2. I have that one. I like it, but for the moment, the only camera I really bring with me anywhere is the newest one, the i2.
I was gonna say, didn't you? I saw you post that you got the i2. What's your thoughts on the i2 camera?
I don't like saying that the camera's not great just because I'm not very good at using it. So I know it's not all the camera, but my photos aren't great on it. But I think it's just because it's a little bit of a learning curve for me. Because like, obviously I was used to having like rudimentary control over things, but now I have complete control. And that's like, I don't have any kind of background with like the Mint cameras or like the other cameras where you have that kind of control. So it's a little bit of a learning curve for me. And I feel like once I do get it, the photos will look better. But for now, they're just either overexposed or underexposed, or they're perfect. And it's just kind of hard for me to gauge how good the camera is right now.
Yeah, that's where my thoughts have been. I'm still on the fence about it. I know a lot of people are complaining about its auto feature, which if you're buying that camera, you're not going to be using auto. I mean, it's nice to have, but it overexposes their images, and people have been very vocal about complaining that it's got issues. I'm still on the fence. I still have to use it a little bit more to find out if I even like it. But yeah, I like to at least ask people about that, because there's not too many people that I know that even own one. I think you and maybe one other person.
I only got it because I just felt like I looked at it and I was like, if I could master this camera, I would be at the top of my game. And I just can't. I don't have time. It would take a lot of time. That's what I will say. As a beginner going into it, it'll take a lot of time to master that camera. Like, it would probably require me to watch so many, like, I'd probably have to buy your master class to truly master the camera and to use it to its full potential. You would need training from somebody who knows what they're doing. And it's a lot of time and resources that I just can't give it right now. Yeah. I'm going to take it home with me over Christmas break and hopefully try to learn it a little bit better. But it's a very big learning curve, which is why I don't think a lot of younger people or like beginners are going to be purchasing it for the price point and the skill level needed to get good results. Like, even Ben's photos were not as sharp as I thought they would be when he did his video talking about it. Like, they were all a little bit just blurry. I don't know how to put it. They were dull.
Right.
I just thought they would be a little bit more vibrant, and I feel like even he was struggling with the learning curve that the camera requires.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he was probably working with a like a beta model prototype, basically, because I think he had it for like a year or so before it even came out. So that could play into a factor of that. But it is learning curve. Now, you mentioned my masterclass. The masterclass, I don't have anything on that camera in there. I am going to be working on eventually. I'm not sure when. Don't come at me, people. But I get enough people actually asking me, so I'm probably going to do it. But I want to make a class dedicated to that camera. But like you said, I still even need to freaking master that dang camera. But because
it's a beast. It needs so much. Everything has to be perfect.
Yeah, and
you have to consider every factor.
Yeah, it sucks because, well, it doesn't suck. I shouldn't say that. It's what the struggle is. You have to already know photography, like the basics of photography, to expose your photos correctly. The sucky part that I was saying a second ago is that it unfortunately will cost you lots of money to get to that point, because you're going to be potentially more than likely wasting film to get those results, because you have to shoot it, and each photo adds up. It's like $250 or so per shot every time you take it.
I keep all my mistakes, and I can't imagine just the money I've probably wasted from leaving the cap on the Now Plus and taking a photo. At least with the i2 you can't do that, but like the money, it's crazy.
Yeah. There is one thing in the video I didn't really get to mention on my review of the i2, and that is, if you are using the i2, it can't shoot through glass at all. So if you are going to be, it uses LiDAR to autofocus, and you can't turn autofocus off. So if it's trying to, it's similar to like almost a sonar. So it's hitting the glass and focusing on the glass. Now, if you're too close, if you're trying to shoot through it, like maybe let's say you're at the zoo, you want to shoot some of the animals with photos, not bullets, but you want to shoot some of the photos. And you want to put it up to it, you're too close. It'll say you can't shoot it. And also, in the review, I didn't, because I learned this recently, screen, like a window screen. If your window's open and you got the screen, still, you can't shoot through it. It's kind of frustrating. It would be cool to be able to have the option to turn it off, but you can't. What I hope they do would be a new version of the Go. Start utilizing the Polaroid Go camera.
Yeah, I feel like that was kind of weird that they just didn't. Usually, when they do it to make film specifically for a camera that small, it's got to be expensive, and for them to not add on to the Go line is kind of shocking, especially since they're paying as much as I'm sure they are to produce film for a camera that small. because it's a completely different animal than like a regular sized film pack. So to just not utilize it is just not, it's not a correct allocation of resources on their end.
Yeah.
They should have added on to the line at least. And I just don't understand why they did. Polaroid and their marketing tactics are just, they're weird.
Yeah.
And it's always been that way. I'll never forget this. There was, last year when I was in high school, there was a kid named Anthony Hernandez. His like handle was I'm Anthony. And he took one Polaroid every day for his senior year. And he got famous, like actually famous. He gave a lot of credit to Logan Paul and his 99 original series, but he got like, I think he's at like 2 million followers on TikTok right now. And he took a Polaroid every single day for his senior year. And Polaroid never once reached out to him. And I thought that was a very big missed opportunity on their part. Like he was, and he still does Polaroids to this day. And he was like, I would love to work with them. And they were like, oh, we're not really interested. And they sent him, I remember this, they sent him when what was the newest film they did before the summer one? Like the one with the colors? The circle.
Oh yeah, what was that called? Redux or Rednecks or something like that.
Retnex. They sent him a 2-pack of Retnex film, and that was it. And I was like, that's crazy. Like this kid has basically built his brand around you guys, and he's never said anything bad about them. It's always like glowing recommendations. Like, I love my Polaroid. I love taking photos with my Polaroid. And they didn't give him anything. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, ever since then, he's stopped with the Polaroids. Like, he doesn't really do them that often.
Yeah, Polaroid is strange. They're weird. They don't really work with creators except for one. We all know who it is. But every time you see some person on like their channel or whatever, it's always this person like, oh, I'm an influencer, I'm a creator. I'm like, who the heck are you? No one's ever heard of this person. Why aren't you out? Why isn't this company trying to work with the people that are literally in the trenches every single day promoting your product? And you're not even paying them. You could easily just be like, oh, cool. Hey, thanks so much. Here's a month's supply of film, or something like that. It would be cheaper than making their weird ad videos that they do. Like they literally spent probably because I know how it works in the video production side. They probably spent $20,000-$50,000 on a stupid 1-minute ad on YouTube. Not even an ad. I mean, actually, they turned it into an ad, but basically saying, stop using Polaroid's name and calling things Polaroid, or we're going to sue you. That's pretty much what it was about. Like, stop confusing Instax with Polaroid. And if you want to start a business or put something on the t-shirt, don't use our branding. You can't call it Pola camera.
Oh, that wasn't what I was thinking about.
Or whatever. It was so weird. It was extraordinarily strange. That they spent that much money just to let people know that, hey, stop calling Instax Polaroid.
Polaroid's marketing tactic, I don't know who does it, but weird. I can't imagine they're very up to date on what's trending, because there are just so many missed opportunities between Polaroid and marketing. It's actually crazy. They don't market as I feel they should. For instance, Instax does better, and like even Instax is still not great with their marketing. Like when I made an Instax pool float to try to get the pool float,
I saw that.
And they were like, "Oh, we would love to send it to you." I never got it. I'm still waiting on it. Don't have it. And so there's just so many missed opportunities. I don't think they understand that. And I'm not being rude when I say this. Mm-mm. They should be focusing more on a younger audience. Yeah. They're very much so heavily going into the people who, and obviously their loyal customers are typically an older population of people. Like it's usually people who are older and they took Polaroids when they were kids, and that's just like what they know. And obviously there's nothing wrong with that. But eventually, as things go, that older population is going to get older and older. And then eventually, they're not going to be here anymore. And who's going to buy the Polaroids then is what they need to think. Yeah. And especially with the rise of TikTok and short form content and younger creators, I would have thought they would have put more effort into trying to connect with the younger generation, especially since like Y2K and like older technology is like a thing now. It's like popular to have older pieces of technology. and they don't really capitalize on that. I feel like the only company that capitalizes on that is Retrospect. And I only really saw them truly cash in during the Barbie movie premieres, what I feel like was definitely big for Retrospect. And I feel like that should be the standard for all of the instant film companies, just because they're not capitalizing and they're not marketing as they should. Like even Instax sends out for every new camera, there's always tons of influencers who have nothing to do with photography, like, oh, I got the new camera in. And I don't think I've ever seen, other than the i2, I don't think I've ever seen an influencer open up Polaroid on camera, which is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that. But going back to what you said about Retrospect, what did they do for Barbie? I think I missed that.
Greta Gerwig bought the Barbie, or I don't know if she bought it or if they sent her to it. The Barbie Polaroids went crazy during the Barbie movie premiere. Like they were in, I think it was like the front cover of Vogue or something. Whoa. She was holding the camera, like the Retrospect 600 Barbie themed camera. And that, I saw that go viral. People were like, oh my God, where can I get this camera? And like I even had, it was back when I did Polaroid, I had a lot of people asking me like, oh, Morgan, have you seen this camera? And I was like, yeah, it's from Retrospect. And I was like, I don't own it or anything from them. And I was like, but like, you're more than welcome to go purchase. But they did better. They do better than Polaroid because they understand that, like with the Barbie movie and stuff, that was a whole trend. And they knew to hop on it. They knew that what they needed to do to be profitable during that moment of time. And I don't know why Polaroid doesn't capitalize on moments that truly would be great marketing for them. Like, for instance, the Stanley Cup in the car that, like, got caught on fire. And they were like, oh, we'll buy you a new car. That blew up because people enjoyed it. They enjoyed seeing the brand's response to somebody who genuinely, like, loved the product. And personally, for me, like, even before Rush Talk, I was pretty, as far as instant photographers go, I think I was probably one of the youngest females to have a bigger following than most. I think I had like 4,000 followers, which was a lot for Polaroid and like for Instax and stuff. And I never got reached out to at all, period. Even after I did like so many like stunts with Instax and Polaroid both. And it was just kind of disappointing. Not a very big, marketing wise, as somebody who studies marketing, it just doesn't make sense to me. It truly does mystify me.
Exactly. Especially like on my end is like, I've grown this channel quite a bit. We were talking right before we started recording, like I'm kind of hit the ceiling though. I'm nearing the ceiling, of like,
you may have in an instant. I think we've talked about this before. I think you're pretty close as far as subscribers go. I think you may pass them eventually, but if you look at like the numbers and like who's gaining more over a longer period of time, like you've got him. Eventually, long term, you're going to have him one day.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't even trying to compare myself to him, but thank you.
It was the closest in the field I could think of.
Right.
I can't think of.
Well, I mean, if you look at even Polaroid's channel itself, I think I even have more than them, barely. I think there's like 17,000 or something like that.
That frustrates me so much. They have 10,000 followers on TikTok, and I was like, they've got to send me the i2. And I was like, I've got over 100,000 followers. I was like, I'm going to get the i2. I don't need to drop $500 on it. Yeah. And I reached out to them because I had an event that I had, like, I eventually got Film Junkies to do it. But I got a custom camera for this event, this picnic, and I was going to do like a Polaroid theme to it. Yeah. And they never responded because and it was crazy.
They don't. So like the point I was going to make was like, you got channels like mine, not just mine, but others like Sweet Lou Photography. He doesn't really do instant as much anymore, but Noah from Analog Resurgence, others, many others. Matt Day. Well, Matt Day is an exception because he actually got the i2 camera. But you have channels that are dedicated to instant photography, and yet Polaroid is going to send do a gigantic marketing campaign and send cameras to non-instant camera related channels. I get part of that. They want to go for channels that have got millions of subscribers to get lots of eyeballs and potentially new sales, new people into the hobby. That's cool, but diversify. Send it to people that are focused on it. But they sent the i2 camera to channels that have 1,000 subscribers. I saw a channel that had 2,000 subscribers that aren't even instant photographers. They're not even photographers. It's just like a random tech channel, and they're talking about the cameras. And they're just super generic, like unboxings of a video. They just wanted to send it out to everyone that will. I don't know. That's the question. Why'd they send it out to all the people that they chose? Only them. It's mind boggling to me. So for me to like this is a good segue into something I was going to mention for the next topic, but it's like for me to want to continue to promote a company that doesn't like to support the community that's supporting them, basically. Like I'm in the trenches every single day defending their format, defending their cameras to a point, obviously now plus, but defending them every single day and showing people that no, Polaroid doesn't suck. You can actually get good photos. And I'm literally creating a class to teach people how to do it, but they won't acknowledge my existence period anymore. Because I will speak the truth. I'm very transparent like that. But to both sides, I think that's a valuable asset to have. Keeps people online, but I know it's sales. They got to keep those numbers nice and
it's
tight.
still, what are you thinking? Like, what is and for me to reach out and be like, hey, do you think maybe I could get it? And to not receive a response, that's even crazier, because it's like money wise, and to think about it, how especially in the grand scheme of how much brands spend in advertisements, that would have been free. Like all that would have been was the cost of the camera.
Yeah,
and it's crazy.
Yeah, and especially when you think, well, it's a $600 camera. Well, in the grand scheme of a marketing campaign, $600 for
it's nothing
to spawn. It's nothing. It is pennies, and especially they're not even paying $600 for. They're probably paying. They're paying. Who knows what their profit margin on that camera is? It's probably pretty high. Yeah. So a couple $100, let's say, probably for them to make that camera and then just to send it off to have somebody make a video. Are you kidding me? That's nothing. Because I had another channel back in the day. It was a tech channel. It wasn't photography. We had 125,000 subscribers, and we would get someone to say, hey, would you make a video for us or whatever, like a sponsored segment pretty much. And the starting rate's like $6,000, right? Like that's what people are paying for to run ads. So Polaroid, you can't send people a $600 camera that you probably only cost you a couple $100 to produce. It's mind boggling. And it's getting harder and harder to want to promote a company that is also starting to market and their campaigns as embrace the chaos, which is just a cover to say that they're slacking on their QC. Their QC has been absolute trash over the last few months, and they're just saying embrace it. It's okay for the inconsistencies and things. They've literally have said that, and that's why in 2024 I'm actually looking to just start switching over to Instax and not really promote Polaroid as much. Which,
as far as the world goes, like if you look at brands nowadays, especially ones that I interact with daily, every single brand has either a social media manager or a team whose only job is to produce content, to find influencers, to make videos on TikTok, and to constantly post. And it's sort of this asset that, especially in the past 2 or 3 years since COVID, has kind of grown. They're not utilizing it. I feel like Instax is doing better than them because they understand that they have to reach the younger generation. Because if you look at Polaroid versus like Instax, you're looking at like Polaroid generally focuses on a more older and more mature audience, whereas Instax is like, hey, this is cool. You could like take pictures with your friends. And like even in all of Instax's ad campaigns, you're looking at a younger audience or like a younger model. But Polaroid is just, I don't understand why they focus so much on the demographic that they do. Especially with like, I understand a little bit more with this camera because of the price point and the level of like skill you need to use it. But like for the Polaroid Go, I would have pushed that out to every younger influencer I could have found. I would have found like kids in high school, kids in college who like sorority girls who are constantly around other girls who want to take cool little pictures with their friends.
Yeah.
Like that was such a missed opportunity. And I don't understand why they make the decisions they do, because it's showcasing that the brand's not as visible as Instax. Like Instax has a lot more followers than them for a reason. And it's because they know what they're kind of doing. I mean, they still suck at it. I'm not going to say they're great at it.
I mean, I've never heard back
better.
from them. I've messaged them. I've never even heard anything from Instax. I've messaged them a couple times over the years, but
Instax,
never.
Where's my pool float? Where's my pool float? That's all I got to say.
Right. Yeah. And I know how this can sound to maybe an outside ear that isn't so close to content creation. We aren't being like, boo hoo, why did we get overlooked? Where's my free stuff? It's not, this isn't that. No. This is not that. This is business, and it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It truly does not make sense. And like, especially, I mean, they've gone extinct in the past. Like we've seen that they can disappear. And especially coming back from that, you would think they would try to keep up at least a little bit, but it's like they just can't get past it. And I don't know if the manager of Polaroid's watching this, or if you're like in charge of marketing, get a social media manager, because you need one, and stop making the mini documentaries for the i2. Please stop making them. Yeah. Please stop.
No one cares.
Because it worked kind of for the radio, and I think that's why they're trying to replicate it with the i2. Like the i2 stories where like they take the i2 and they travel. That kind of worked with the Polaroid radio. Not really. It wasn't hugely successful. So I think that's why the i2's marketing campaign kind of looks like that. But I'm done. I'm over it. Stop.
It doesn't. And like, for me, like the points that I'm trying to make is that even if I wasn't a YouTuber at all, and this camera came out and I got this information, it doesn't make sense for me as a consumer to watch a video of somebody unboxing the i2 and talking about it that doesn't have like
experience.
Exactly, the experience and the know-how to even operate the camera. It just seems like it's like
at a $500 price point, they're not going to buy it.
Exactly, they're not even going to be buying it. It's a waste. It's a waste of time. And if I'm going to be wanting to fork out the cash to purchase it, I would want to see if somebody legitimately that has the background and experience to use it.
It knows what they're doing, and it's just like I said, it's a waste.
Yeah,
like you're just sending somebody a free camera. They don't know what they're doing with it, and their audience doesn't know what they're doing with it, and that's one of the biggest connects you can have with if you send out free product.
Right, and so I watched a lot of the reviews when the day it came out. And Matt Day is the only one that I felt qualified, and probably Ben were the only ones that were qualified to even talk about the camera, because they're photographers themselves and they know what they're doing. And there's so many other ones, not just photographers, but instant photographers, more specifically. They know what they're doing. They know how to shoot the format. There's another YouTuber that I've subscribed to him and watched him for many, 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 many years, and that's Kai. He was originally on Digital Rev, RIP Digital Rev. They were cool when he was on there. Whole thing. If you know, you know. But Kai got the camera. He's not an instant photographer. He's a photographer, but he was talking about stuff that wasn't even relevant and stuff that was wrong information. He was talking about the film and how there was the issues with it, and he was explaining what was wrong with it, and that wasn't at all true. So he's spreading wrong stuff. Nothing against him. It's just experience that he doesn't have shooting instant photography.
Where they improved with the i2, where I will totally give them this, is they were ready for the i2 to come out. Like, those reviews were up within, I believe, 24 hours. They had some kind of suspension to the camera releasing. Yeah. Like, they were definitely ready. And so it gives me a little bit of hope that they did at least do some kind of a marketing campaign around the camera. They at least sent it out, period. That does give me a little bit hope that maybe, while they didn't hit the bullseye this time, at least they shot the arrow. So maybe next time they'll be a little bit closer to their target demographic. But again, it's common sense. If you're going to launch a camera, you're going to send it to people who know what they're doing with it. You're not going to send it to Christina, who does a toy review channel. Like, that, it doesn't make any sense, because especially for a product that expensive, it's just not worth it. It's not worth your time. Because if I were to push Polaroid right now in my audience, I probably wouldn't be able to push the i2. Maybe one of my followers would buy it, 1 or 2. And like I've got over 100,000 followers, so that's a small number, but it's because it's a big camera, big expense. They're not going to want it. I'm not a photographer. That's not what I'm known for. The people who follow me don't follow me for photography content. They follow me for day in the life content. So it's just, it's just so confusing. As somebody who studies marketing, Polaroid is one of the greatest mysteries I will ever look at.
Yeah, embrace the chaos. That's what they say. That's
well, at least
just
for Instax,
BS.
They're not based. I can understand why there's a little bit of a disconnect there with the marketing, but Polaroid's based in the U.S. Like they have a headquarters in the United States. Their main man, Ben, is in the U.S. Like, I don't understand why there's just not more of a... They should be doing better than Instax. Instax should not be beating out Polaroid, period, in any form, on any level. And it confuses me. It truly does.
In the U.S., I would add. Instax is gigantic overseas.
Oh, yeah. Especially in Asia, they're huge.
That's a big deal. In America, Polaroid should be leading. But I don't think it ever will, just because of the price point of their stuff. It's just very, very expensive. It's a premium, and it shows. Hey, real quick, I wanted to remind you guys about the members area. Yeah, there are some amazing perks by becoming a member of the Spitfire Club, such as extended versions of Just Another Podcast and extended versions of YouTube videos and early access to said YouTube videos and exclusive monthly signed photos sent to your door and access to the members exclusive Spitfire Club t-shirt. But that's not all. There is now an exclusive members-only Zoom call. Yeah, we have our club meeting. We sit down, we chat, we talk about things that we're into, things that we're struggling with, things we want to improve, and special guest appearances from other like-minded content creators. Ugh, it's so much fun. If you want to become a member today, there is a link in the description below. I'll see you in there.
Well, especially with the film that I'm buying nowadays. I used to buy all my film from Best Buy, I believe. And lately, all of the film has been expired. But I haven't been having that many problems with the newer packs I've been getting. I do have like the summer limited edition and the Retnex that I haven't shot with yet. So we'll see.
The summer stuff, that was fine. I had good luck with that. I haven't shot the Renix, whatever you say it. I haven't shot that yet. I've got a couple packs of that I need to shoot. I haven't found a good
I messed up with that film. I didn't realize it was a 2-pack, so I bought like 3 packs. And I was like, why is it $100 for 3 packs of film? And I was like, that's crazy. And I was like, but I really wanted it, so I was like, fine. And I get it in, and it's this huge box, and I've got 2 or 3,
right.
3 2-packs, doubles. And I was like, I don't need this much Retnex film. So much Retnex film, it's actually crazy. It's in the freezer.
Ooh. You might want to take it out of the freezer. If Polaroid film doesn't do well in the freezer.
No, it's in I have a super mini fridge.
Fridge. Okay, cool.
Fridge.
Yeah.
I call it freezer.
Yeah, you don't want to put Polaroid film in the freezer. That actually ruins it. It's the only type of film you don't want to put in the freezer, even Instax. But
I think I put my Stranger Things film in the freezer when I still have like 4 packs left. I have no idea where they are, but I think they're at home now that I think about it. But I have a pack of Disney film and then like 4 packs of Stranger Things film left.
I've got a pack of Disney. That stuff's worth a lot of money.
Disney. I talked about it in the group chat. I got the Disney for like $30. I was ecstatic. I was so happy.
Great deal.
But I went and it was dark, so I couldn't shoot. I couldn't in the film. I was nervous.
I know somebody that has like 50 packs of Disney film that's just sitting in their dresser drawer.
That's crazy. 50?
And they don't use it traditionally. There's nothing wrong with this at all. I'm actually in full support. It's just an unusual thought to think of, just typically. But no, they use it, but they don't use it to shoot. They put it in the Polaroid lab, and they use their phone and to use it.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess if you didn't want to like ruin it and get like the best results.
Yeah.
But still, I've never heard of somebody, even with like Stranger Things film, I would never put my Stranger Things film in the lab.
Yeah, it just feels weird. But I mean, I nothing against it. It's
Are the results good? Like, are they good photos?
Yeah, you've seen their photos. It's Heather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, those were on a lab? That's actually crazy. I thought those were taken like...
Not all of them. Not all of them, but it's a good chunk of them. Pretty much the vast majority. But there's a lot of them that are still regular, because she also has the Mickey camera that she'll walk around and shoot with, the retrospect one. So she'll shoot with that too. But majoritively, they're labs.
Oh, I've never heard of that before. That's kind of that is interesting. You're right. That is an interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess some of the photos look a little bit not as vibrant as they probably could be.
Yeah. So
probably more
with the lab. So people that don't know, I'm sure you've seen her on the channel. She was in the videos earlier this year a couple times, but she works at Disney World and she's a character attendant. And so it's hard for her to walk around with a Polaroid camera. So she's able to just use her phone. And then that's why she uses that to take her pictures until, and then when she's on her off days or not working, then she'll bring the camera and shoot with it there with that film. But
I've never heard of anybody to do that. That's a new one, I will say.
But yeah,
I've never
seen. She showed me a picture of her stash, and it blew my mind. Like, you should see, it's literally a dresser drawer in her room that's just loaded, and there's just thousands and thousands of dollars in film.
She could sell that and probably buy a house.
I told her that too. Like, you can sell that, man. Right now, it's like, because she probably spent easily that much money because she bought it when it first came out at retail, and so. She could probably sell it now because that pack of film, I think they go for about $100 a pack now.
Yeah, well, probably more so. I haven't seen one come for sale other than my like off chance one on Mercari. I don't think I've seen a Polaroid film come out with like Mickey on it for a while. I do want to do like a Star Wars one and like go to Galaxy's Edge and shoot with like the Star Wars film. But I haven't seen any kind of themed film out for a minute.
Yeah, so Polaroid likes to do one-off pretty much. They'll just do one run of things and they never bring in another version of it out again. So we got Star Wars back in 2020, and then we got Mickey, like 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was at this point. Maybe 3 years ago.
I wonder what they'll do next, because they did Stranger Things too.
They did Stranger Things
thought for a minute they were going to do Barbie, but because Retrospect was like selling it so heavily. But I don't know what their next collab will be. I can imagine it probably be another Disney thing.
Polaroid's hipster. They have a hipster mindset. If it's cool, they won't really talk about. They won't get in on it. If it's popular and trending, they don't deal with it.
Because I have notifications set up for like all of the themed film, and I don't typically see a lot of it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But again, it has been a while, and most people probably just bought it like, oh, I bought one for my little boy who loves Star Wars, and then she took the pictures, and then that was it.
Yeah, it's pretty much how a lot of that stuff goes. I was lucky. I found someone on eBay, I think it was a year ago even. I've been beginning of January. It was like some camera store somewhere in the country. They were selling a pack for $10. But they had like 400 packs available to purchase. So I bought like 4 of them, and I think Dave bought like 10 of them. And then
I would have just added as many as possible. Looked at my bank account and said, "I can take the hit and purchase."
Yeah, because it was a quote unquote expired by like well over a year. I think that might be the only film that Polaroid's made where they did a multiple runs of it. I know Stranger Things, they did 2 batches. I think Star Wars, they might have done 3.
I think they may do something else with Stranger Things near the season, like the last season. I think we may see something else.
I don't know. They didn't do it for the season 4. So
I feel like they're due for another like collab soon, though. It's been a while. Like, I can't remember the last time I saw, like, other than Retrospect, a theme kind of release.
The David Bowie film, I think, was the last one, and then previously it was
Keith Haring.
Keith Haring. Yeah, I almost said Ken Burns. That's not the same guy. Keith Haring.
But even Bowie didn't get like a camera or anything. It was just like the one pack of film. But when I say themed, I mean like themed. You know what I mean? Like a somebody relevant, not David Bowie.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. It's funny, the David Bowie film. So previously, right before they released that film, there was this new thing that people were discovering with their film, and they're getting that weird spider web little thing on the corners of their film.
Yeah.
And people were contacting Polaroid about it and then telling them what's going on. They're like, "Oh, what's your camera? It's got clean your rollers. Your camera's damaging
Clean
your
your
film."
rollers.
That's their go-to. A lot of people were complaining about that. And then Polaroid releases the David Bowie film, and in their marketing photos, they're showing the photos of like examples or whatever. And in almost every single photo had that spider crackle web thingy in the marketing
Even
photos.
when I had the Now Plus, the spider web like crackle was like standard.
Yeah.
Like it's
So
been around for a minute, and I don't understand why. I don't understand why.
I have a
film does
theory.
it. I just kind of accept it.
I know. So everyone does with Polaroid. They just give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, it's okay. It's analog. It's fine. No, it's not. But I have a theory. I was feeling. This is gonna sound weird. I was feeling a photo from like the previous year, and it was really rigid, really thick, like normal, like a Polaroid. The newer stuff, after it's developed for a couple of days, even after like 24 hours, it's still developing. It's like hardening up. It takes some time for it to fully like cure inside. Afterwards, I'm like, this photo feels it's a lot thinner than the previous film. And I legitimately had a photo completely crack. I picked it up and it like didn't even bend it. It just a slight little like bend. I was like this,
I have noticed
and just slightly for all those video watchers, I'm doing it's kind of like that, and it's just completely, the photo just split down the middle and on the inside of like the developer stuff. And I'm thinking they're just starting to put less and less chemistry in to where it cracks. And so as it's developing, or as it's ejecting out of the camera, a lot of people are thinking that it's the pick arm pressing up against it and causing a slight crease and bending the film. And then as the chemistry is going across, it's catching that.
Now that you mention it, whenever I shot the I-2, like a few weeks ago when I went to Disney, I did notice that typically in the past when I've taken Polaroids, I stick them in my pocket just because I don't like them to be out in the light, and they would be fine. But this batch that I shot like a while, I couldn't figure out why, but now that you say that, the photos were like bending more. I don't know how to describe it. They were thinner. They were a little bit more flimsy. So you could see like the impressions of my pocket, which I've never had happen before. Mm-hmm. And I just chalked it up to like, oh, it was pretty hot. Maybe I did something. But now that you say that, I do think the film has definitely gotten thinner. Yeah. And I think that may be why. Maybe they're trying to make the Polaroid thinner. Maybe they're trying to use the less materials.
Right. That's
maybe
what
they're
it
just
is.
producing. Maybe they change factories. We maybe get an updated Ben Fredinelli Polaroid tour with a new factory.
I doubt it. There's no one going to be manufacturing a new Polaroid factory. I don't think there's people alive today that knows how those were even built, because those are like the salvaged factories that from back in the day. If that factory ever just randomly blew up, that's the end of Polaroid. They would never be able to come back.
You would think they would have more of a backup plan than that, like just one. It's kind of fishy for me. Fishy. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, do you know the story of Polaroid and how all that went down?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I would think that they would make sure that it wouldn't be as easy, if that makes sense. Like they would expand more. They would use. I mean, they're charging how much for a pack of film these days? You think that profit would go somewhere?
Well, you maybe
put a new U.S. factory in.
Well, the thing is, though, like, it's the engineering of creating the machines that make those and designing that. The people that originally designed it, I think they're just long gone. So they almost legitimately be reinventing the wheel, and that would cost tens and hundreds probably of millions of dollars to try just to R&D to try and figure out like how to go about recreating these machines. Maintenance is different, right? You can probably, this part broke, we can have machine shop recreate this one part, but not the entire facility, you know? Yeah. So to create another facility, Whew. Man, I just don't see that ever happening unless out of nowhere, all of a sudden, every person on the planet just thinks it's the coolest thing in the world to shoot Polaroid, and Polaroid just has this gigantic influx of money. Then,
if they play their cards right, they could probably have that happen. Just because what goes around comes around. Like Polaroids are still, even now, they're becoming to be more relevant. Like they're selling in Walmart now, which is, I mean, they've been selling in Walmart for a while, but they are constantly sold out, at least in the Walmarts that I go to. So I feel like they are becoming more relevant than they have been in the past. I feel like they're kind of coming back around just because a lot of my friends that are in the influencer space, they own a Polaroid at the very least. And they generally do buy film to keep on using it. And like more so for family gatherings, you don't really see a lot of professionals shoot strictly on Polaroid. That's just not a thing, really. Yeah. But for family gatherings and like people who want to capture that memory, that is, I feel like that's more of the marketing technique they need to go for, because that's probably where they're going to sell a lot of people. Versus like an updated photo album would probably be really, I would do an updated photo album where you could put the photo in and there's like a space to write maybe or something. Just something a little bit cuter than what's out now, like a standard black binder with plastic in it. Yeah. I feel like that's a missed opportunity. Like a photo album revamp would probably be a good move, probably sell very well. Yeah. But they just need to look at their audience is what I feel like they need to do, is look at where they're selling them.
But yes, you are correct. They need to listen to the people, give them what they want, because they just need to hire us, you and me.
Yeah, we could go in and we could fix them. We could fix it all.
Oh man, I would do so much. The thing that
Guaranteed profits.
The first thing I would do, I go in there, I'd be like, okay, we're gonna go for Instax, we're gonna go for Fuji, we're really gonna be a contender. So we need to get the film cost down, best that we possibly can, right? But it wouldn't be with the large stuff. I would be focusing on the Polaroid Go, because that is where the closest competitor that you possibly have.
The Instax.
And they redesigned that camera from the ground up. There's no reason at all that they couldn't have put 10 photos in that pack of film for that camera, because that camera is 100% redesigned. It's
their standard.
Yeah. So
they've proven that they can sell 8 and they're never going to go back to 10.
Exactly.
Which breaks my heart.
Yeah, it won't happen. But what I would do is immediately focus on the Polaroid Go development, start redoing it. And I've talked about this, I've said this a million times, but I would go and, no pun intended there, but I would recreate older cameras, miniaturize them, make them almost a novelty, make it super fun. That's what people would want to have done. Make a little miniature Sun 660 or the Barbie camera, or like the Tasmanian Devil one. I mean, those ones would be harder to go for because they'd be licensed, but the ones that they can do, or make a folding one like an SX70, not like a SLR, because that'd be too expensive. Just make it to where it's, it just like folds somehow. Because they could fit into your pocket. They could easily make one could fit into anyone's pocket. That's what I'd focus on immediately, because then it would be a contender. And then get the price of the freaking camera down. There's no sense of that camera being $100. I'm just not. Because that's
I feel like my bad.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just going to say to wrap it up was, at the time that Polaroid Go came out, it was the same price that the Polaroid Now was. And then then afterwards, again, poor marketing, especially timing, because like a couple months after the Go came out, they're like, oh, by the way, the Polaroid Now is now $120. What?
It was one of the things I feel like that they had a disadvantage was for the Go, was the film. It wasn't as dependable as Instax. Like if I haven't used it yet, I accidentally stuck a thing of Instax photos in the washer because it was just like in my pocket and I washed my pants and it came out fine. That thing was a trooper. Like if I could nuke a pack of Instax film and that thing would still come out
every time,
just as good as it was when it went in. And dependability is something that I feel like Polaroid really needs to work on, because that film is either going to be magenta. I don't use the Go as often, just because most of the time my photos are either, no matter how hard I try, they're magenta or they're just too light, and I have no control whatsoever over the Go. Like I can't control anything. At least with some of the Polaroid cameras, you have some kind of semblance of control, but like there's nothing I can do. I just press the button for the go, which in mass consumerism is a very big plus because that means anybody can use the go, but the results are not going to be like they would be with an Instax. So I feel like that's kind of where they missed the mark, was that it wasn't as good as their competitors. If you really want to compete with Instax, they need to be better. Like that, it has to be as good as Instax. It can't just be like okay for Polaroid. It needs to be better. And it's just not better. It's worse.
No, they need to be marketing the go not towards like their marketing campaigns were showing it like going outside, lifestyle stuff, cool. Market it as a party camera because that's the only place where that thing shines. You know, like
fun with friends, you know, like birthday party.
Inside show, yeah, exactly. It's anything that has to deal with inside having fun. That's where that thing shines, and it'd be perfect. Market it like that. Make the cameras fun. Make them to where people want to buy them. Because I gotta tell you, I know so many collectors out there, just not just of cameras, but just the collectors in general. If you made a camera that was like just miniature, marketed it as the world's smallest functioning Polaroid
like
camera,
the keychain one. That one's, I love that thing. It's so
not
cute.
that small, but yeah, it's
and if
cute.
it actually works, if it actually works,
make it to where like it still works. And then marketed it as that way, people will just buy it for the heck of it, and then put them up on a shelf and display them all, and have different
world's
versions.
Tiniest camera or something like that, like world's tiniest working camera. Like that's, I'm not into film, but you know the baby doll camera that's like this big, like it's so tiny. I've wanted one of those forever because it's adorable, like it's tiny and it still works. And there's that novelty that I feel like affects a lot of people. And I feel like that's something they definitely could have capitalized on. But again, missed opportunity.
Right. And and we live in a digital world, and they're trying to market an analog thing, but they're marketing it to the wrong people. So you got to find a new angle to it. Make it, like I said, make it fun, make it a novelty, make it where something where people will want to at least buy it and shoot it once. And people, I guarantee you it'd work. Just make a small versions of the vintage cameras.
Everything always goes back to their target demographic. They are not marketing correctly, because marketing is what sells your product. Marketing is what lets people know about your product. Marketing is pretty much probably one of the biggest things to consider, especially if you own a brand these days. Marketing is going to be your best friend. It is the most important thing to consider other than profit margins. And they just seem to be lacking a lot of marketing. I feel like that's a common thread here, is that their marketing is not great. And I feel like whoever the marketing director is needs to be, I'm not going to say somebody needs to lose their job, but they're not doing their job correctly and they need to do better. And it's hilarious to me because I've worked with a couple of bigger brands than Polaroid could ever hope to touch. And the marketing and the work and the effort and the thought that goes into it is just 10 times better. And it's like, you've been around a long time, you went away for a while and nobody really seemed to notice. And the way you're going now, you may go away for a little bit longer. And it frustrates me to no end to see that they could be great. They could be the big thing. They could have made a bigger comeback than they have. And it could have been a lot faster. But again, their marketing wasn't that great. They didn't focus on where the money is, on where they should be focused. They're focused all over the place, and it's just not a good look.
Switching gears slightly, I've seen that you are starting YouTube videos.
I did.
What's going on?
I grew up in, obviously you've been around YouTube longer than I have. When I was growing up, YouTube was a big deal. And I grew up watching all of the greats, like Lord DIY, Markiplier, like all of the ones who, like Vlog Squad when that was a thing. Like there were just so many great creators, and I loved coming home from school and watching YouTube. Like that was my thing. I loved it. YouTube's always been like my favorite thing ever. And I always wanted to do YouTube. But back when I was growing up, that wasn't really an option. My parents probably would have told me I was crazy and that was never going to happen. But now I am in a position where it could happen and I have the potential to maybe make it work. And so I'm going for it. Like I love YouTube. I love the space. I love the community. And obviously long form videos are not what they once were.
No.
People don't have the attention span or the want to watch a 10-minute video. which is unfortunate because that is some of the best videos are the ones that are longer and you get to see more. But I really want to do YouTube, and I've always wanted to do YouTube, and now I'm in a position to facilitate that in a way that I could probably make it work. And so I'm kind of doing Vlogmas as a trial run, should I say, to figure out editing. And I'm probably going to need to get a camera soon because I film on my phone now. And like there's certain aspects as somebody who went from short form to long form, like TikToks, all I have to do is go into the TikTok app and use my phone. Like I don't import footage from anything. Like I think I have 2 or 3 GoPros for like B-roll, but long form is a completely different animal. And I'm using Vlogmas as sort of the learning curve. You know, I'm learning editing. I'm learning how to film different angles, what all goes into a long form video. And hopefully, if all goes well, I should have my first like official long form video. It should be up in January is what I'm shooting for. Hopefully, like I said, things happen.
I thought so. So what are you uploading right now? I thought they were long form. They're not.
They're long form. They're Vlogmas. I'm doing Vlogmas like the every day a different vlog.
Okay.
And then over Christmas break, obviously I am still in school, so that's a factor.
Right.
Once Christmas break is like going on, I'll have more time to truly focus on it and put more originality into it. They're not that great, to be honest. They're just me going through life. But eventually we'll do like fun little things. Like I think I wanted to do one where I gave my little brother my Tinder for like one day to see what he could do on Tinder. And I thought that would be a fun video. But I haven't decided if I'm ready to go commit to that thing. But like I have ideas for videos, but like my first like original video that won't be in December, like I'm going to call this like my Picasso. Like this is the video that I've thought about. And I was like, I put a lot of thought into it. A lot of hours have gone into it already. And I'm just ready for it to be done because I'm literally over this video. It needs to come out. It needs to be done. I need to be gone with it.
Welcome to the club.
I think I've poured like $1,500 into this video already. And that's not even like on camera equipment or like things to make the video better. That's just on stuff that I need to make like the props for the video.
Sure.
And it's crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know how much money I spent on my Halloween special?
How much? Let's hear it.
Oh, I don't even know. I even added it up, but I know how much I made in the first month. just on ad revenue, $130 in 30 days across 7 videos, and I traveled just the travel costs just to go to.
Costs, probably.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be really making a video talking about, or not even talking, showing. I'm actually going to show what it costs to do my channel and how much I'm actually making from the channel.
I feel like that's a big misconception when it comes to influencing and like content creation is there are areas where you can make a lot of money. Like, don't get me wrong, you can totally make money. You have like, obviously you get sent free stuff sometimes. You have like brand opportunities where brands just want to like do things to increase visibility. But a lot of people don't realize is that the amount of time and love that I put into my TikTok videos. TikTok is probably the worst platform to use. You probably make a lot more than me, but TikTok is horrible when it comes to paying out creators. Like I think in my height, we're talking like 10 million plus views, like a lot of likes, a lot of engagement. I think I made like $1,000 total to this day. Like I think 1,000 is my running total. And obviously there's the new creator beta program where if your video's over 1:30, you get paid more. But TikTok won't show those videos on the For You page because they don't want to pay those creators for those videos. Yeah. So those videos are suppressed. And the same goes for like a paid partnership on, that's another thing is paid partnerships over on TikTok. You have to, in order to like not break a law, you have to toggle the paid ad disclosure. And TikTok will suppress the ad because they're not getting any of that money. They're not seeing any of the money that the creator's getting because it's all under the table technically because the brand and the creator talk and then they post the video. TikTok will suppress those videos. And it's hard because now you're seeing a lot of influencers taking extreme measures to make sure those videos do well. Because if those videos don't do well, they're screwed. Like, they don't get any more kind of visibility from brands. Brands don't want to work with them because that video flopped. Like, their last ad didn't do well. So you're seeing influencers do like hashtag brand partner or like whatever, like blank partner. And that's not, legally speaking, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. They're going to come for you one day. But it's frustrating because it's like that for a reason. Like the platform's making it like that. And the amount of time I put into my videos, I'm definitely not making back what I put into it. People who are probably like have 10 million plus followers, they're probably making significantly more than they put in. But like, I'm not Logan Paul. I'm not putting in 10 grand into a video and seeing like 100 grand come back in. And like what little money does come back in goes towards the next video. It's like a domino effect. Like, I spend how much on this video, I lose 1 grand. The little I get back, it's not going to pay off that 1 grand. It's going into the next video to keep on going.
That's how it works.
You're continually digging a deeper hole, and it takes a lot of subscribers and a lot of engagement to truly be profitable.
And time. Lots of time.
Lots of time.
Yeah, tell me about it. Like, a couple points there. Going back to a little bit of what you said about you have a toggle, that little checkbox when you upload a video.
That little checkbox.
YouTube is the same way. If you're being sponsored, you have to check that box. Now you can
and it says the paid promotion on it is what it does for the user.
It's not like a platform rule. Obviously, it's a platform rule, but it's bigger than that. It's a FTC rule that you have to disclose if you're being sponsored, especially if you have a product that you're pushing on to people. And it is extraordinarily frustrating when you see somebody that's clearly being sponsored. And they're not doing that. They're not even throw out the checkbox, just mentioning that this thing had been sent to that person. Be like, hey, my name's Chris. This is I got this product from such and such company, but I'm not being paid. Blah blah blah. That sort of thing that's a YouTuber. That's still a YouTube thing, but also if you're physically getting money, then that's when it's FTC. But even FTC will still have to tell you to say you have to disclose that you got it from them. But it's not as big. It's the money part that FTC really comes after. But even then,
it's like those videos are not shown to as many of your audience. Like, I'm sure, I don't know how many branded videos you've done, but like ads do worse. Like, that's just how it is. And how it works, how they get you, and how the reason it is the way it is like on TikTok, you have this thing called paid promotion. When let's say I were to work with Polaroid. Let's say I were to work with Polaroid, and Polaroid was like, Morgan, we want you to do 2 TikToks for a flat rate of, say, 10 grand, 5 grand a TikTok, and we'll pay for paid usage. And what that means is essentially is when I go to post the video, I give Polaroid the rights to that video. Yeah. And Polaroid can pay to boost it. And that's how your main followers see it, is they're getting money. How the brands work is they have to pay to get their video visible. And so YouTube, a third party, can be like, hey, yeah, if you want that video to see all of our followers, you got to give me $100 to boost it for 10 days. And that's, the brand, if they believe it's a worthwhile video and it's a good video, they will pay for the usage rights for that video. Yeah. I personally am not big enough to where like I have to worry about that, or I've had interest in that. But it is like, it's a big problem because like TikTok does it, YouTube does it, Facebook does it. Like, all of the platforms are doing this. They want their chunk of the money, and they are doing everything they can to make sure that the videos aren't visible as long as they're not seeing the money.
Right.
And it's frustrating as a creator because that's pretty much my future, is if that video does great or not. Right. And so either I have to pay to boost it or the brand has to pay to boost it for somebody to see it. That's crazy. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it is. And I see it all the time. People
they don't disclose because the creators know what's at stake. They know what could happen if that video doesn't do as well.
Yeah.
Like, they know that if they click that box, they're probably not going to get as many views. So in order to kind of alleviate that kind of, I feel like it's a guilt thing because you are selling something to somebody who doesn't think it's an ad and they don't know properly that it's an ad. They put the little brand partner thing and they think that makes it okay, but it's not.
When I first started my channel, I started my channel years and years ago. It was mostly for fun. But when I started to take it seriously, which was in 2020, Actually, it was like turning into it because I was on another channel that was taken seriously, but I ended up losing it. It was stolen from me. But so I started focusing on instant photography in 2020. And when I was starting it, I wanted the kind of the mentality of a couple of different things. One being honest and transparent, good or bad, regardless of my like affiliation, if you will. Not that I'm affiliated with anything, but like even if a company reached out to me and was like, "Hey, review our product," I'm like, "Hey, yes," but I am honest, and I don't really take money for reviews. If people want to sponsor a video, it's usually for an ad, and I've only done a few of those because I think it's in bad taste to take money to do a video review.
PR, like, yeah, to PR, the difference, a lot of people like, I don't get a lot of PR, to be honest. Like, there's some girls who go to Bama who get so much PR. I'm not, as far as my content goes, I'm not the target kind of audience for PR. I do typically get like maybe one package a week of stuff. But typically what they do is they're like, oh, let's see if she likes it. And if she likes it, she'll post about it naturally. That's the thing. That's the thing I'm seeing now is natural content. Mm-hmm. The goal is always to make the audience think that it's natural. Yes. They don't want them to think it's scripted. They don't want them to think that you don't really like it. They want it. So when I work with a brand, like Teleties is a great example. Strong brand ties are what a lot of creators lack. Like I have two or three brands that I love, that I've worked with, that I will always support and that I constantly shout out, even though I don't have an affiliate code or anything. And I'm just I love the product, so I'm going to tell you guys about it. And so I feel like that's kind of something that I feel like a lot of creators need to realize, is that they need to have strong brand ties. Like brands that they could be like, hey, do you guys think, like I pitch ideas to brands all the time, like, hey, you guys could do this. And I'm kind of annoying to Teleties. I email, her name's Alyssa. She's my like POC over there. I email her like once a week with a new idea for Teleties. And she's like, Morgan, we'll see.
I'm the same way with stuff like that. I hound people sometimes. But like my philosophy is like not to take money for reviews, because then people will just be like, oh, you're lying. And even then I'm careful when I do take money for sponsorships. There was one time, it wasn't money, but this is more of an example where people is a misconception. When I even receive a product in the mail, so like if the company's like, here's a product, do a video, don't do a video, we don't really care. We just count, obviously we hope you do a video, but we just want you to have it and see what happens. Kind of like what you're saying, a natural video. So that's how Lainey approached me. Like, we got a printer, we'd love you just to check it out. Just look at it. No pressure. So they sent me a printer. And I've used some types of those printers in the past, but this one really kind of blew my mind a little bit. I'm like, this is actually really good. And it's new company coming out of nowhere. So I did a video on it. No money was transpired or transacted. But the product was given to me, and I disclosed that. I'm like, hey, thoughts of my own, got this product from this company, but they're not seeing the video ahead of time, blah, 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 all those things fully disclosed. But then I did another video where they're like, hey, we liked it. It was awesome. We want to do more. Can we send you two of our competitors and you do a comparison of all three? And so I did. And I don't know if I will ever do that again, because people still, that's when I didn't take money. They just sent me their competitors' printers. And I did the video, but yet the way I did the video was I was legitimately, versus like which one's actually better in all these categories. And of course the quote unquote sponsored one won. And I took some negativity from that video in the comments. Like, of course you're going to pick the one that is sponsored this video, even though I wasn't really sponsored. They just sent me the products, which is a form of sponsorship in a way that full is, let's be clear on that. It is technically a sponsorship, just not monetary in that way. And so I kind of stopped, and I never did that again, because that video did extraordinarily well, by the way. It really, really well. So where I make most of my money from isn't from YouTube, is through affiliate, through Amazon. That's where the majority of, So in the script, it's just affiliate marketing essentially, but it's where I get commission off of the sales, and that printer has made me lots of money. I sell probably 20 of those a month, maybe more. And plus the paper and all that sort of stuff, every single month. So it's reoccurring. So I didn't get paid that in the direct sense. I got paid after the fact through affiliate plus Google AdSense, which is YouTube, ad revenue. But that stuff takes time. That's pennies, that ad revenue. It's not a lot. But the cool thing is,
not typically a lot. But I didn't know the Amazon thing. I know what you're talking about. I have one. It's like
it takes a lot. Yeah,
there's some creators who make fully like their rent money off of the Amazon affiliate thing, because I feel like it's a good way to support a creator who, like, you're gonna buy it anyways. You may as well use the link, and then the creator gets something at least. Yeah. But I didn't know that was how you did the printer. I didn't know that was like, because the Amazon thing I've only been seeing the past like 6 months, maybe 8 months. I don't think it was around that prevalently before that.
Which one? The affiliate marketing for the Google? No, I can't even get it out right. The Amazon affiliate.
Yeah, that was like maybe late last year. Like
I know what you're thinking of. That's not it, but it's actually kind of cool. That's different. I can't get into it. I've tried multiple times. It's basically their creator one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. So affiliate, you can just go sign up. It's free to get in, no problem. And then once you have that affiliate, then you can just start using your own link when you send whatever to somebody. Or the best part is it goes into your video's description, and then you can just leave it there. So that's how I make most of the money. The more videos you do with the more links in the description, they live there forever. And so that it builds over time. If you're just going to make in one video every couple of months, it's not worth it, because you'll legitimately will get a penny maybe if someone actually buys it. But yeah, that's how I kind of approach my videos right now, unless it's a direct ad spot, which I've done a couple of them. Laney's actually bought a couple of those where it was just like, here's some money, and just do an ad. Yeah. So any link that you see in my description of YouTube videos, that's a marketing one. And you have to disclose it too. You have to put it in there saying, like, you have to let people know that is that. Yes. Yeah. And but you don't have to say it. Yeah. That you don't have to verbally say in the videos. Just has to be in the description somewhere in there saying, this is an Amazon associate. I get commission. And the cool thing about the affiliate or the associates program through Amazon is that once someone clicks that link that you put in the description, you live in that link lives on that account for like, I think 24 hours. So anything that they buy. So if there's, if they directly buy the item, let's say it's $100 item, you get a percentage of that, and it varies, but you'll probably make a couple, you'll make,
because usually I buy more than one thing.
Exactly. So if it's $100 of that thing, you'll probably get like $1 or $2, maybe $6 sometimes. It depends. And then if they already had in the cart like $100 extra, you get that $200 sale, or or whatever it might be. But it stays in there locked in for like 24 hours, unless they click somebody else's link. Then I think it kicks yours out and it leaves theirs in. That new person. But yeah, so you can literally and then the cool thing is on Amazon, you can literally look on the back end. So my account, I can see what people are buying, not who bought it, but what's being sold. And it's a cool way to see like what's working, what's people buying. So it helps me gauge what videos I need to be making.
What if they remove the item that they click the link for, and they just buy other stuff?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You'll get that sale. Yeah. Yep. So even if they don't buy it,
that's great.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. You live in their in the cart or whatever. I don't know what you call it. It lives for I think 24 hours. At least that's what it used to be. So even if they don't buy what they originally clicked, you still get that sale, which is pretty cool.
That's a good gig right there. I don't know how it works. Like I said, I haven't really messed around with Amazon. I don't do a lot of affiliate marketing, so I don't really know how it works. To be honest, it's just not something I'm passionate about.
That's where it shines on YouTube, because it's not as like I don't want to say scummy.
It's not in your face.
It's not in your face. Exactly. It's more of like, hey, if you're here to learn about this camera or this product, or you're learning about it. That means you're already interested in purchasing this. You want to make sure it's good or whatever before you buy it. And then like, oh, if you're going to buy it, use my link so I can get a couple bucks out of it because, you know, I helped provide this type of level, whatever service. But once you get enough of those links out there via like videos, like I was saying earlier, enough of them out there, it starts to be just becoming this like just reoccurring revenue system. The only thing that's a bummer is it's 2 months delayed because Amazon has a 60-day money like return policy. Oh, so if they buy it and they return it, you don't get that sale anymore. So they hold the money for 2 months. So if you look in there and you're like, oh, I got $1,000, you won't see it for 2 months. And hopefully it's the same amount by the time it comes around, because if somebody returns it, and you can see what gets returned too. This doesn't happen often, but every now and then it'll happen. But yeah, affiliate marketing or affiliate style, it does work really well on YouTube. But it's a numbers game. You have to get those links out there via more of them in the description or more videos making about that particular product. It kind of comes back full circle to what we were talking about earlier about Polaroid and like that. For instance, the i2 camera. I like for me, I had to go purchase that. I had to go purchase that and buy all the film and make that video. That video probably cost me $1,000 to produce, and I'm not getting any money from Polaroid. And I don't have a way to make affiliate money off of that camera because at the time, there wasn't any available on Amazon. That's where the affiliate marketing is. Polaroid sort of kind of has one, but it's like,
yeah, I thought they did. For film, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just for film. It's not for their stuff. So Amazon has film. So it's like, I won't see that money for another year, maybe to break even. And then, but that's just that one thing. Like earlier this year, I did a video on the Mint RF70. That's $1,000 camera straight from Mint. I had to buy that, buy the film, buy the extra accessories that come with it to do that video. That's another $1,000+ to make that video that I also can't make much money back on. So, but then there's people
and
like,
if the camera sucks and nobody wants to buy it, then you're really like,
literally there's people in my comments saying that they've bought it, didn't like it, and they've been trying to sell it, and it's taken like a year for them to even try to sell it for less than what they paid for it.
They sent me a camera back when I only did Polaroid. They sent me the wide. I think that was Mint. Maybe it wasn't Mint. No, it was
wide.
Oh, you did a review with them too.
I did. Oh, it's Lomography.
Like Lomography is the one that sent me a camera.
They're cool. They actually work with creators. I like them. Yeah, but they're the only ones. Mint won't. I've tried. I reached out to Mint when I I bought the camera. Actually, let me go back. I reached out to them to ask if I can get a loaner camera to try it out for my video. Yeah. Again, because that's a lot of money to fork out to make a video that I won't really see any money on. I'm making it for the viewers. I'm making it for you people, which is what I'm here for. But I never heard from them. They didn't even get a response. And so a year later, I ended up just messaging them again after my channel grew. Didn't hear from them. So I just bought it. And then I made the video. I'm like, this thing kind of sucks. Is something wrong with my camera? And then I messaged them. I sent them the video before release. Didn't hear from them. And then I released it. And then a couple days later, I heard from them. Like, hey, we just saw your video on YouTube. I'm like, I messaged you. And they're like, yeah, no, could you please take it down? We'll send you a new camera as a replacement for that one, but please send back the other one. We'll hand test the new one, make sure it all works. We'll even send you the sample photos. And I'm like, well, that'd be great, but I'm not taking my video down. Sorry. This is not how it works. And so I sent back the other one, and then they sent me a brand new sealed camera that wasn't hand tested at all. They didn't send me any of the photos that they said they were going to do. And there still has issues. So their quality control isn't the greatest, and you pay even more than Polaroid. That's just my 2 cents on Mint. Yeah, I first worked with them in 2020. I messaged them, heard back. They're like, yeah. They sent me a loaner camera. And then a couple years later, I reached out to them again about, hey, wonder if I could try it out again. Like, yes, we love your stuff. Here, you can have it. So they sent me one. It didn't work. The flash was busted. will not go off, and I'm like, hey, the flash's not working. And so like, oh, just keep that one. We'll send you another one. And they sent me a brand new one this time. The other one was used. It was one of their loaner cameras. And I was about to do the video, and then, I released that video where I was reacting to Thomas Heaton using the lomography square glass camera. It was a random YouTuber that I'd never heard of before. He was.
Oh my gosh! Did he ever reach out to you? I've always wanted to ask you this. Did Thomas Heaton ever say anything?
No, not at all. Then Lomography reached out to me again saying, hey, thank you so much for defending us and our camera. And then that things got a little weird with Lomography, because then they're like, oh, hey, but by the way, let us know when you're sending back the other camera. I'm like, which one? The broken one? Oh, no, the one that we sent you before as replacement. I'm like, you said I could have that. And you literally said that was mine. I'm working on the video still. I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. I'm like, oh, okay, that was a weird interaction, but I like Lomography. They've got some cool stuff. They're one of the few people that actually work with creators and the community and actually try. I feel
they try a little bit, and I feel like that it shows a little bit because their cameras don't suck and they're not like horrible. Like when I had the Loma Wide, it was great. Like I enjoyed it. It was kind of like an Instax. I feel like the Instax film kind of helps them a little bit more so than like companies like Mint or like Retrospect, just because Polaroid film's not the best. So if you're working with Instax, which is great, I mean, anything to enhance the sort of like the control I have over the camera is great. Like I love being able to open the shutter and leave the shutter open. That's like my favorite go-to is to extend the shutter's like speed so that way it's brighter. And that's what I do. Like when I go to Disney and I'm traveling at night, I bring a tripod or like a mini like holder, and I'll stick the camera there and I'll leave the camera lens open for maybe 3 seconds, and then you got a great photo. Don't even really need to do anything.
Yeah, it is. No, it's true.
But I really do enjoy Lomographies. Like the Loma Wide was great.
Yeah.
But obviously life happened. Unreleased footage is in the vault.
Yeah, I've got a lot of that too that I need to do to get out there.
Well, every creator has like a stash of videos that's just ready to go, that's just not out there for some reason. Like for me, a lot of it's like I have stuff from when I was in Orlando, but if I were to post it now, I'm not in Orlando. It would look a little weird, for me to post stuff from my trip. Like I think my little brother and I built like one of those lightsabers at Star Wars Land or whatever, and that was an investment, and that video is not out in the world.
Oh yeah, and I did that too. That
lightsaber was not
expensive.
Yeah.
I think it was like $260.
God, it's so much money.
I know, I did it.
But he enjoyed it, and he had a lot of fun. So I was like, whatever. But I filmed, you best believe I was filming everything.
Yeah,
there was not a moment we were in that room that was not filmed.
Yep.
And I feel like that's again part of like the influencer creator culture is you gotta film everything. Like that's rent money right there that lightsaber was.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. Like, why do you really have to be filming this? I'm like, kinda.
They want the entertainment, but they want the videos. They want the entertainment factor, but they don't want us to live off of like the money and stuff. A lot of people think, because I've had quite a few comments, is like, you must be making bank off of your TikTok. No. It's like a car payment, I think is what I've made is a car payment.
Yeah, no.
Like, cost of living and TikTok, I would have to make probably, if I were to keep like my interactions up, I'd have to make like 30 TikToks a day to be able to afford to live. Yeah. And it's not great. And I feel like that's part of the reason why is because nobody talks about how much they make making videos. And so people just naturally have this opinion. I had this opinion that, we're all making bank out here because we're making videos. No, usually we're in debt.
Yes, big time. Now on
My
YouTube,
YouTube video is not even out and I'm already in debt.
Yeah, and it'll be in debt for a while, unfortunately. But it's because of the minimums you have to meet to even get their video channel monetized.
I know, and I don't even have those minimums.
Yeah, you have to have 1,000 subscribers. The 1,000 subscribers is the easy part. You have to then get 4,000 watch hours, which is kind of tough. But
everybody better watch every single vlog I put out until December 25th.
Exactly.
And even 4,000 watch hours is like, I don't even know how many watch hours I have on TikTok. Oh God, that's a lot of hours. But the 1,000 subscribers part is easy, like you said. But getting those watch hours, at least it's not on TikTok. How TikTok does it is it's a unique viewer. So that's the only one that counts. Is somebody who finds you on the For You page or has is not a spook account. It has to be a specific kind of account watching your video for so long to get paid. And it's to have each variable match up, it's impossible. So at least on YouTube, it's every viewer, but on TikTok, it's a unique viewer is what they call it. And it's really hard to get a unique viewer on your account. And, but at least I feel like once I get the monetized on YouTube, it'll probably be a little bit easier. Cause I can make a video, I could do a bomb video. I got good ideas. This brain, it's unmatched, but it's just to put them out now wouldn't be worth my time. Cause I'd be pouring so much into these videos and I wouldn't be getting anything back. And while that's a great pipe dream to live in, it's not feasible.
Yeah. So that's a normal, that's how creators think. I've been sitting on ideas for years. So I'm I'm going to wait to release it when I've got enough. But the thing is, the idea that you have could actually be the thing that actually just shoots you right to the top of the head of the line. For instance, it didn't go anywhere, but the very first thing that I ever did on YouTube legitimately almost got me my own network TV show. I almost was the host.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. You've talked about it before.
Yeah, I've talked about it before. Usually they're on live stream and stuff. But yeah, so the first thing that you do, the idea that you have, don't sit on ideas, but you can always revisit them later. I'm starting to do that now with a lot of my content on the YouTube channel, because as you grow, those people may not have ever even seen or heard of that stuff before. So you can just recycle it. And best part is you've gotten better at maybe telling the story, making the video, lighting the video, whatever the idea is, the product that you're trying to put across, you've gotten better. And then the people, the new or the old people that have been around for a while will still appreciate it because it is better or different, and you can go farther. Don't sit on ideas. That's what I've learned. That's my wisdom of the day.
My first video is you know how I've always wanted to do YouTube. My first video is an idea that I've had for a really long time. And it's going to be, I think that looking on the data, that's one thing I really did do before I decided to do it. Because it did take a lot of money up front, was I looked at other videos that are kind of similar. Mine's unique in a certain aspect. But I looked at other creators who have done it, and it did really well. So I have high hopes for my first video. I believe that if I get the editing correct, and if I do the concept correctly, and I can do it right, I think it could be a 2 million view video. Kind of roughly, because it's a beauty video, and the beauty industry is huge. And while I don't necessarily do beauty videos often, this one is unique enough that I think it'll be very good. And I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that January, when it comes out, it could be enough to put me at that monetization mark. But the hope obviously is that with the Vlogmas vlogs, I'm growing my arsenal of skills, but I'm also growing the people who are seeing me now. If I could get monetized before I post the first video, I'd be set.
There you go.
I'd be set.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah.
Something you said earlier, you were talking about investing in a camera because you've been using, your phone. Yeah. The funny thing is, nowadays phones are so good, you don't even need a camera. You just use what you got. Because if you guys haven't seen my videos recently in the last couple of months, I've been just I guess in a sense, if I was looking at it from 4 years ago, I've been getting quote unquote lazy and only using my phone because phones are getting so much better and the quality is pretty good. Plus it's so simple. It's just in your pocket, whip it out and shoot it. When you use a DSLR camera or mirrorless or whatever, there's a little prep work.
Thinking
anything else you want to maybe mention or talk about before we wrap up?
No, I think we covered almost everything I've ever done.
We have some good conversations there. So if people want to find you, hunt you down, or creep on you, where can they find you?
They can find me I'm on every platform, but it's all the same handle. It's On the Daily with Morgan. And that's, you don't have to put the spaces on or anything. It's just On the Daily with Morgan, and I'm the first one that pops up. Or Bama Morgan if you want. But
okay, there you go. Links will be in the description. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on. It was awesome. We'll have to have you back on, see where you land on your YouTube journey in next year. Yeah, check up on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice chatting. Wow, what an episode. That was such a fun one. We're gonna have to have Morgan back on, especially after her journey into creating content on YouTube. It's not so easily done, and so we gotta check back in with her in the future. I think this episode really was extra fun for me because I rarely get to talk to other content creators, so venting about my frustrations to somebody that actually understands what I'm meaning and it's not being taken out of context, because a lot of times when we talk about, oh, I didn't get picked, oh, why didn't you send me something, Polaroid? It's like that's what you guys hear. You hear me whining about that, and in reality there's a much bigger picture at play. So it's really nice to actually talk to somebody that knows what the heck is going on and can understand my frustrations, because in a way I make Polaroid a lot of money, yeah, by creating content for free for everyone to watch. And please go follow Morgan, follow her adventures. She's got some really cool stuff already out, but a lot of cool things cooking. So be sure to follow her. Links can be found in the description. That's all I got for you in today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I'll see you in the next one. Now, get out there, make some art.